ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Sri Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogam. In this chapter, Bhagavan explains the difference between Kshetram, which is matter, and Kshetrajna, which is Atma, self. In the beginning itself, he starts explaining about Kshetram, and then he identified the qualities which are required in the Jivatma for self-realization. After that, he explained in detail about how to differentiate between Kshetram and Kshetrajna. We have seen up to the 30th shlokam, where Bhagavan now is explaining in a sequence, in a series of shlokams, the nature of Jivatma and how different the Jivatma is from Achetanam. Bhagavad Ramanuja has given a beautiful Vyakhyanam in Sanskritam for Bhagavad Gita named Gita Bhashyam. Vedanta Acharya has explained the meanings of Bhagavad Gita in his Vyakhyanam Tatparya Chandrika. With the help of these two, Puttur Sri Vivek Krishna Swami Iyengar has written an elaborate commentary in Tamil for Bhagavad Gita. As a part of that, he has also given word by word meanings for the shlokams in Tamil. We have translated that into English, and with the help of that English translation, we are seeing the simple meanings for Bhagavad Gita shlokams. Now let us continue on with the 31st shlokam. Anaditvan nirgunatvat paramatmayam avyayah sharirastopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. In this shlokam, Bhagavan is saying that the Atma does not get affected by the qualities of the body. Let us see the word by word meanings for the shlokam. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Ayam Paramatma, this Atma which is greater than the body. The Atma is always considered as greater than the body, because body is just matter and Atma is sentient being, hence it is considered as greater. Sharirastaha, while residing in the body, Anaditvat, since he is beginningless and not created. Atma is Anadi, that is, there is no transformation happening in Atma. Matter is also Anadi, matter is also beginningless, but still there is constant transformation happening in matter. There is the change from subtle state to gross state, and then gross state to subtle state, and even within gross state it is going from one step to another, one form to another. It keeps changing like that. But Atma, in comparison to that, there is no such change ever. It is always remaining the same. Hence, it is known as, it is emphasized here, that Anaditvam is emphasized here. Abhyayaha, and because it is not having any beginning, it will not have an end as well. So it is imperishable. Abhyayaha means imperishable. Nirgunatvat, since he does not have qualities such as Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. These qualities, Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas, these are qualities of the matter. Hence, they are not directly associated with the Jivatma. They are only connected through the body which the Jivatma is having. So, due to not having these qualities such as Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas, that is why he is known as Nirguna. He is not having any qualities such as Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas. na karoti. Unlike the body, he is not the abode of kriya, actions. That is, he is not doing any actions. The Atma is not doing any actions. We have already seen in previous slokams that Atma is only having the desire, but all the actions are done by the body. And na lipyate, and does not get affected by the qualities of body and become tainted. Because Atma is not involved in any action, it is not directly, Atma is not doing any of the actions, Atma does not get affected by the qualities of body as well. What are all the qualities? That is, being created, being transformed, having sattvam, rajas and tamas, such qualities, and so on. All of these are present in the body. These aspects does not affect the Jivatma. So that is 31st shlokam. So even though the Atma is residing in the body, the Atma is imperishable because he is not created, he is always present, and since he does not have the qualities, he is not the abode of any actions, and he is not affected by any of those qualities of the body. That is 31st shlokam. Now 32nd shlokam. Yata sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatravastito dehe tatatma nopalipyate. An example is given to establish that the Atma does not get affected by the aspects, qualities of the body. Let us see the word by word meaning. The example is here space or ether. As the ether or space is present everywhere, anything which you see in this world, everything is resting on space or ether. Yet the ether does not acquire the attributes of the objects which stay on the ether, on it. Similarly, Atma also does not get affected. That is the explanation in this shlokam. Let us see the word by word meanings. Akasham, ether. Sarvagatam, while prevailing with everything, while it is present with everything. Saukshmyat, being subtle. Yatha na upalipyate, not affected by the properties of those entities which ether is holding. Tatha, similarly, Atma, Jivatma, Sarvatra Dehe Avastitaha, while being present in different bodies such as Deva, Manushya, Tiryak, Stavara, that is celestial, human, animal and plant bodies. Saukshmyat, being subtle, na upalipyate, does not become affected by the properties of the bodies. Just as ether, even though it coexists, everything rests on ether, everything is present on space or ether, the ether itself does not get affected by the entities there. Similarly, Atma, now Atma need not be seen as single Atma, there are innumerable Atmas. All these Atmas, they are present in so many different bodies, yet they are not affected by any of those bodies. Even the same Atma may be going through so many different bodies, will be going through so many different bodies, still Atma is not affected directly by the qualities of the bodies. So that is 32nd shlokam. Now let us see 33rd shlokam. Yata prakashayatyekah kritsnam lokam imam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha kritsnam prakashayati bharata. So a question arises, if the Atma does not get affected by any of the aspects of the body, that is fine, but how will Atma, and the reason for that is also the subtleness that was explained in the previous shlokam. Being subtle, the Atma does not get affected by any of the aspects of body. Now being subtle, how will the Atma understand or communicate with the body? If it is very subtle, very small, if something happens in one part of the body, how does the Atma become aware of it? And that is the question here. For that, Bhagavan is answering with an example. He is giving the example of sun who is present in one part of the world, but he is giving light to every part of the world. He is illuminating the whole world from one single place. Similarly, Atma, being very subtle, remains in one place in the body, in the heart, yet he illuminates the whole body with his knowledge. Let us see the word by word meanings. Bharata, O descendant of Bharata clan. Ekaha Ravi, the sun. Imam Kritsnam Lokam, the whole world. Kritsnam means the whole or all of it. Yata Prakashayati, how he illuminates with his light. How the sun is illuminating the whole world with his light, just being in one place. Tatha, similarly, Kshetri, the Jivatma who is having the body. Just like we have Sharira and Shariri. Sharira means body, Shariri means Atma who is present in the body. Similarly, Kshetri means Jivatma who is present in the body, who is having the body. Kshetram, his body. Kritsnam, inside out, from the toe to head. Prakashayati, illuminates with his knowledge. Atma being in one place in the heart, still from the toe to head, he is illuminating the whole body with his knowledge. For example, let's say a thorn pricks the feet or our foot. How does the Atma come to know about it? Through his knowledge. The knowledge is spread throughout the body. So the knowledge about thorn piercing the foot is sent from that particular part through the knowledge to Atma. And then Atma reacts. Atma says, okay, take out the thorn, and the hand takes out the thorn. So this communication is happening through the knowledge, which is spread all over the body. So even though Atma is in one place, through the knowledge, Atma is able to interact with the whole body and illuminate the body as well with that knowledge. So that is 33rd Shlokam. Now the final Shlokam of the chapter, where Bhagavan is summarizing what was explained in the whole chapter. Kshetra kshetragnyor evam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye vidur yanti te param. One who has this knowledge about kshetram, kshetrajna, and the qualities such as amanitvam, adhambitvam, all of those qualities which are required to free oneself from the matter and be liberated. For the one who has such knowledge, there is self-realization. Such person, such Atma, can attain his superior state, which is free from worldly bondage. That is explained in this Shlokam. Let us see the word by word meanings. Evam, as explained in this chapter, Kshetra kshetrajnayoho antaram. The difference between Kshetra, body, and Kshetrajna, the soul. So here, antaram, the word has many meanings. Puttur Swami explains in the detailed commentary based on Bhagavad Ramanuja's Bhashyam that here antaram should be understood as difference. The meaning for antaram is difference based on the context of this chapter. So the difference between Kshetra and Kshetrajna, Bhuta Prakriti Moksham cha, the qualities such as amanitvam, etc., which are means to free oneself from the primordial matter which is in the form of various creatures. This primordial matter transforms into different bodies, whether it is celestial body, Deva, Manushya, Tiryak, Stavara, all these different types of bodies which are engaging the Atma. To be free from that, to liberate from that, one must have the qualities such as Amanitvam, Adambitvam, all those qualities which we saw in the beginning of the 13th chapter, which Bhagavan explained. So those qualities, Jnana Chakshusha, the vision of knowledge, which discriminates between body and self. Ye Vituhu, those who know, they paramyanti, attain the superior Atma, which is free from worldly bondage. So here paramyanti may sound like liberating and reaching Paramapadam. Here this focus is on self-realization, and one who has such knowledge will be attaining that state which is superior state of being liberated. So that is the focus here. Hence it is talking about Atma realization, self-realization only. So those who have knowledge about Kshetra and Kshetrajna and the difference between them, those who have the qualities such as Amanitvam and so on, will attain their superior state through the vision of knowledge. That is the end of 13th chapter. With this we will stop and we will continue on in the next session. Alvar Emberumanar Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam, Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download KOYIL, KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.